Hey everybody, this is Brian with Creative. I know it's been a little while since I've made the video, but I've promised the Voronoi video for a while now, so that's what we're going to do right now. I have been preoccupied with the fair, which went excellent, by the way, and then I was able to raise $100 for charity. I know that's not thousands like I'd hoped, but hey, you get what you can get, and still that's more than they would have had otherwise, so I'd say it's a thumbs up. Yeah, and I also been making. I've been trying out, and I've been able to make coins. Coins are cool. These are pewter coins, and I've been making them out of wood molds that I do on my latest printer. But I'm gonna have a video on that, and I'm also gonna have a video on how you can do it with wood burning sets, which I ordered and I got in, and I got some wood in so I can work with that without having to cut the wood. Although in afterthought, I could have just cut the wood. I have a laser cutter. But if you don't, which I'm assuming you may not, if you're going to do the wood burning one, you can use a saw or whatever just to get the wood down to manageable size, so you can pour pewter into it. Pewter is very very low, but we'll cover that when I go to that one. Right now we're going to do the Voronoi. If you don't remember what the Voronoi is, the Voronoi is it's a model that has lots of holes in it. It's kind of an art form. I think I have one sitting up right behind me on my shelf. I may not, but I think I do. No, I don't. So, I don't have one sitting there. I must have left those all downstairs. Ooh, look, piece of metal in my finger. Yay. So, when we go into it, you'll see what it is. And this is a 3D printed thing. There's no real way to make this without a 3D printer, I don't think, unless you're really good at carving wood or metal or, I don't know, something along those lines. Either way, I'm going to go over the steps that we need to do to make this. I'm going to make a little like Fabergé egg, but I'm going to make it specific. It's going to be an egg inside of an egg. So we're going to have an egg, and then we're going to have the Voronoi egg on the outside of it. It's not going to be very big. It's going to be very small. But I think it's going to be pretty cool. I hope. So let's find out if we're successful or not. And in the end, you know what? We were creative. So let's go ahead and get creative. Okay, everybody. We have moved over to Blender. So we're in Blender right now. And I am going to go ahead and get this started. I want to say that I am working on the computer. It is almost done back. Well, actually, it is done backing up. I am ready to go ahead and start fixing that one. That's going to be fun. Then I'm going to move all these videos over to that. Maybe some of that audio issues that I've been seeing are going to go away, as well as some awesome special effects that are going to be coming up, and some other cool things. That's when I get to go into the video gaming and such. So let's go ahead and close. I just opened Blender. We want to get rid of this box because we're not making a square. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to change, right here, I'm going to change this unit presets to inches. Why inches? Because I know inches. You can figure that the middle part of your index finger is about an inch. So I can tell pretty much just generally what I want to do. So I want to add mesh and a UV sphere, which, if I click here, I can see is coming in at a whopping 2 feet. I'm not printing a 2-foot square circle. No. So let's go ahead and say that we want to increase these rings to maybe, you know what? Let's go even. Let's get it to 32 by 32. There we go. Now let's go ahead and let's shrink our dimensions. Oh my, what happened? Did we grow that big that we're at like 24 feet now? Let's go 1.5 inches. Well, let's go 1 inch. We're on inches. There we go. 1 inch, not 2 feet. 1 inch. Oh, look at it flatten out. 1 inch. Oh, now it's a little sharp stick. 1 inch. And now we have a sphere sitting down here at 1 inch. We're going to scale on the z-axis, because like I said, I want it to be more of an egg than anything else. Alright, so I like the look of this. I do like the look of that. and I think I want to keep the look of that. But what I'm going to need to do is make this somehow. It's going to have to hold, right? We're going to have to make this hold, be able to be held up inside. Now it doesn't have to be something super fancy, smancy, fancy, whatever. Let's go Shift and D, which is copy. I'm going to click, just a regular right click, and then I'm going to scale it out a little. Well, a bit. Alright, so this is 1.2 inches and 1.6 inches tall. That's pretty big, and that's good enough. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hide, well, you know what, I'm not going to hide it. I'm going to come over here to this little button right here. It looks like a little orb. That's my materials in Blender. I'm going to add a new material. I'm going to change the diffuse of it to something like a light purple. And I'm going to come all the way down here to where we see transparency right there. I'm going to click it, and I'm going to turn this down just a little to like 0.68. Now I'm going to go over to this object one, which is the box, and I'm going to say transparency. And now we can kind of see inside, and we can see the orb inside, and we can see the orb on the outside. So what we want to do right now is we want to work with this orb on the outside. So I'm going to turn off the transparency on it for a minute, and I am going to say this is exactly what I want to go with. Yeah, that's what I want to go with. Now I don't want this to be like a necklace or anything. I want this to be a stand. I want this to stand up, so I am going to add a mesh torus. Right, now this torus, just like everything else, is gigantic. Let's go pop into tab here, and we're going to select this up. Let's click down here, and we're going to select this, and shift and alt selects the whole row, remember, and that, and that, and that, and I don't want any of that, so I'm going to do X and faces. Whoosh, gone. Now, one of the problems I'm going to have is I need to take this, that one there, holding Alt, and then Shift and Alt, and I need to, what was it again? Bridge edge loops, right there. That's pressing W, as in what? And that's way too big for anything we're going to do. We're going to scale that down a lot. We just press S and move that little thing in, and I want it to go something like this. That's not too hard to understand. That's not too hard to work with. Right, so I'm going to take and move it down just a little here. Yeah, I want it to be like that. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to take this, and I'm going to press H, it's going to hide it. I'm going to press H, and that's going to hide that. Alright, so I clicked on them, and then I pressed H to hide them. What I want to do here is, first I want to take this thing here, and I want to say, where are my edges that I want to see? I would like this one, but I want to go straight across from it. So this would probably be better, because we have the lines right through it. Yep, see that? Those lines are nice. They're nice and even lines. We can see them. We can grab the ones above them. Even. And we need to have some legs. So let's go E. And that's just going to take us up. And then let's go scale. And that's going to take us in. You see that? Nice. Now let's press Alt-H. Oh, tab Alt-H. And you see that it brings us into this screen where we can kind of see exactly what we're working with. Those don't go all the way to the middle sphere. We could take them to the middle sphere, I guess. It wouldn't hurt at all. So let's go ahead and click Tab, and let's go ahead and scale these in some more, and lift them up some, and there we go. Now you see they're all going into that middle sphere. So we've kind of got ourselves a little link in that middle area there. I'm going to take this middle sphere here in a second, and I want to go in, and right now the whole thing is selected, and we don't want that. We're just going to press C, and I'm going to click around, and I'm going to right click to make the C go away, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go E, and I'm going to bring it straight on down. I want it just to come down to right there, right? I don't need to come all the way, it's about right there, just right on the edge there. Okay, because we gotta have to. If we're gonna print this, we gotta build this. That's one of the things that people don't really get is you have to build something. So let's go ahead and let's click tab on that so we can go out of it. Click on the next this purple one and click tab. A to deselect, C once again, and let's just select all of those. And then let's go E and let's bring this one down. Kind of want to bring it roughly in line with everything else. Yeah, so roughly about right there. For right now, let's go ahead and go tab, because when we print, we have to have a base to print from. This will be floating in the air, and floating in the air is never good. So now that we've got that, everything is its own unique one, except for this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click H, and I like this. This is kind of cool. It's like a little something. I don't know what it is. It's something. So let's go ahead and let's go into this tab and let's bring it down just a little. What we're going to do here is kind of cool. We're going to select this. We've done it before. I'm going to use this one because this is the one I want to work with. And I'm going to come over here to the modifiers, which is the little wrench. I'm going to choose a boolean, and we're going to choose a union boolean. Union. And I'm going to select this right here, the torus, and I'm going to apply it. Now when I click the torus, I can just move it right on out of the way because it's no longer even necessary. We can just delete it right out of the bat. This is all part of this one thing now. So let's go ahead and select this, and let's do scale Z0 so that everything is nice and even. That is all even. We want this nice and smooth and perfect, just like it is. But we're going to add our Voronoi, the actual Voronoi part, on the outside. Remember, I wanted to have a nice pretty little egg on the middle, and then that Voronoi on the outside of it. That's right. So what we need to do now is tab out of this and go back to our H. Whoops, I just hit it. Sorry, Alt H. There we go. Now we're going to work with this one. This is the Voronoi part. So what we want to do is, I already think I have enough of the squares here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a modifier. We're going to add a subdivision surface, and it's going to make it even smaller. We're going to go ahead and apply that, and I'm going to add a modifier, and I'm going to do a decimate. Now I'm going to decimate on the unsubdivide. And one iteration right there. You can go with more. It's every odd one that's going to do it nicely. So we can go with something like this. You can tell how we've got it right. This would be wrong. Everything's sideways. This would be right. Everything's crooked. So we're going to apply that. Come in here, and we're going to say, okay, well, we've got all these wonderful little lines here. Let's start somewhere. Let's start here. Look at that. How awesome is that? Right off the bat, we're just in like gold. Now, one problem is we want to kind of keep these fine. We don't want them to rat out on us like that. So we got to come on in here, make sure we select all those, and we want to keep them roughly and generally selected. Okay, we want to do the same up top, because this is how we, you know what, I really like that. We're going to leave it. I don't know how well that'll print. That might not print it at all, but that is pretty cool. So, now we're going to do Control I. This will reverse our selection. So now these faces are what we see. Everything that's wasn't selected on the other one is now selected on this one. And we're going to go X and faces. Now we've got this hollow shell, and this right here is Voronoi right there. That is the art form that it is. That is showing us what we've got, which is sort of like a weave, if you will. It's like a weave. So now I need to go and I need to say we're going to add a modifier, and we're going to add the solidify modifier. This is important because this right now is just nothing. It's one side. It doesn't even exist in reality until we add some thickness to it. We want to add some thickness there. We want to at least go 0.5, half an inch in there. So we have this right here, or 0.5 would be, that's really small actually. Let's bring it out to about right there. That's better. There is our design. That will work for us. Let's go ahead and come on down here to this, because we've got all of these. So let's go C and let's select them. Now, we don't want them to come down below that. We want them to come like that. They have to come out of this base. Important to come out of the base and not come out of, and not be floating around in Nowheresville. Alright, so what we have here is these poles. You see the feet seem to fit pretty good, but what we might be able to do is we might be able to rotate these on the z-axis and just get them a little bit more centered, maybe like that. You see? Now that's much nicer. That's right in the center, or, yeah, that looks good. We'll leave it like that. There we go. So this is how we're going to have this little egg here inside of this one right here. Yeah, see, I don't see how you'd be able to carve that, at least not as one piece. And maybe you could do it as two. Probably as two. Let's smooth it out. That's what it'll look like right there. Now, I'm going to go back to flat. And I'm going to take this one here, and I'm going to say, well, this is the one we want. So let's go ahead and back to what we're Baleem and Union. We want to go ahead and we want to select this pretty purple. Boop. And apply. Now we're going to select here. Just move that out of the way, because that's the object we want right there. This, we don't need that anymore. Let's get rid of it. Delete it. Go away. This is what we want. This is the very crazy, impossible print right there. This is a nutty print. This is Looniesville. So, since we've decided to go ahead and create some Looniesville, let's go ahead and print this Looniesville Voronoi, V-O-R-O-N-O-I print, the Voronoi print, and we can see how this comes out. I think I'll print it in wood. How does that sound? I will print it in wood, the wood filament. Don't think you all have got to see that wood filament yet, so it would be perfect to do it in the wood, and we'll just take a gander at how that comes out. See you in a second. Okay, so they finished printing, and we have some results. I printed in the wood, and I also printed on Wally behind me. The same thing. So, here is Wally's version. Right there. You can see right through it. You can see the egg is inside of the print. It has that little stand that we'd have there. And it does stand up. And here is the wood one of Alpha. And you can see it's also got the egg inside and the little stand. They do stand up pretty darn good. Let's grab my little controller for my lighting here, for my desk, because it lights up. If I turn it on, then you'll see the glow on me. It's just, maybe, well, anyhow. Get back off again. I don't need it. What I want it for is this. Ta-da! There we are. One in the wood filament and one in ABS. A sea green. Whoop. And they both took a dive. Whoop. Alright, maybe not tilt it next time here. Okay, let's see. There we are. You can see them both. They look pretty darn good. Darn, I just can't keep them on this thing. It's too slippery, I guess. They don't have like no slip on the bottom or anything. I noticed that I got new heads coming for Wally, so he's a little. His print quality is a little lacking there. But this one's okay. There's going to be a lot of cleanup on these. However, success. This was a creative adventure here, and I think this is really, really nice. I would probably paint this. Painting the inside, that would be. I don't know. You'd have to kind of. Not this big of a paintbrush, that's for sure. But very neat. Maybe paint the outside and leave the inside the color that it is. You can definitely see that there's the egg on the inside, although I have to say the egg on the inside of this one looks much better. Either way, what a cool creation. And this holy look here is called the Voronoi. Voronoi. Voronoi or whatever. That's what this is. So now you know, and we did it creative. So that was awesome. Hey, I hope you liked that video. There's a lot more to come and a lot more behind us here. You can check out other videos by me located right over here. If you liked the video, please hit like and make sure you subscribe so you can catch up on all the latest and newest videos we're going to have here on Creative. And as always, let's get creative.